This is ILY Justice League, and on this video, I will be talking about how Marvel Studios dropped the ball not bringing back the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for Secret Invasion. Now, looking at this show, I was very happy to see Nick Fury finally, being in a leading show, even though he did not get a movie yet, which I hope is still on its way. But I thought we were going to see like super spy Nick Fury. Of course, how they were playing it up was like, he was a man without a plan, which I liked. I liked that. But I believe throughout it, finding out he had a Skrull wife, and I apologize. I know I should have said that before. I guess at the beginning of the video, you probably will see a disclaimer for spoilers. But yeah, a man without a plan. He's finding out that Talos has been bringing like Skrulls to Earth and everything like that. Gravik, someone he mentored, the Skrull kid, grew up, thinking that Fury betrayed them and never followed through on his word, which was technically true. I know I don't know if Gaia got a speech from him at the end. If anyone has watched this series through and through, where the stuff she was telling Gravik, if that was already telegraphed and given to her by Nick Fury for her to say, of like, them just trying to live amongst the humans. But overall, I would say the series lacked a lot. I feel that just off my own, I know you guys see the pictures going, and I'm gonna get into it for the Agents of Shield, for my argument for Agents of Shield. But the thing is, too, with Nick Fury's wife, I like the whole scroll reveal. I feel maybe he should have had a human wife. I think that would have added more to the story if Priscilla was the story she told about his wife being not about his wife, sorry, about the woman she modeled herself after, and then became that woman and met Nick Fury and became his wife. I wish it would have been more like he had a sick wife and the wife gave her permission to be her, to continue on for him, and maybe they already had like a working relationship, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying it wouldn't have been hard for him, but that would have also spoke to his like demeanor of like, was he mad at her because she took his wife's face? But it's like he knew what it was, because maybe the wife gave her blessing and was like, hey, just don't let my family know I died. Live a life for me. Live like a fuller life, because they might have got married when they were younger, and live a fuller life for me. And then eventually, yeah, you probably will die or pass away, but they will just think that you were me. And, and I think that would have gave it a little more humanity. You know what I'm saying? Let me know in the comments if you agree. But into the story of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. being in Secret Invasion. So now you see my first stills. I would have replaced, to start out the cameos. I would have started with Ming Na Wei. I would have done her coming in the place of Sonya Falworth pulling the gun on Rhodey. That would have been her. You get some Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. music, kind of like low. Maybe mix it in, do like a mashup between the Secret Invasion theme and the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. theme, and she's the one who pulls the gun. But I still would have done the scene where Sonya calls Rhodey to tell him Fury's coming. So she's in the hospital. So maybe she's the one who has brought Melinda May there under Fury's orders, or as a favor to Fury and stuff. And then I would have introduced Melinda May. Then, while Fury's giving his speech to the president and talking him down to try to expose Rhodey as a Skrull, you go over to Russia. You see Gaia here going through the wall, Gravik punching her through the wall, or using his powers to hit her through the wall. Then somebody puts out their hand or whatever, and it's like, hey, I'm glad I got here in time, or something like that. And then, it's the girl herself, Chloe Bennett, aka Daisy Johnson, aka Quake, Destroyer of Worlds. She's there, and she comes, and then she helps her, up. And then that the powers that Gravik doesn't have would be Quake's powers. Like, as far as she knows, Fury never put her on no harvest. So it would go that way, and she would come in, and she would help Gaia fight Gravik. Now, I don't have full stills of like a full fight. I might make them and add them, like if I do like a movie type video of like just how all these scenes like played out. It'd still be like these scenes, but like I might add some more of like Daisy or Chloe's character Daisy, like fighting Gravik actually and stuff. I may or may not do that, but yeah, but like they fight him, in this you could use your imagination. Quake gets some hits in. She blasts him a couple times with her Quake powers. He fights her. Some get a little bloody. Like little scrapes, cuts, whatever. And then the part when Guy is running at him and they go up into the sky and all that. I would do that like while Guy is running, have Quake like shooting some vibrational waves at him, and he's gonna hit, and then that gives Guy time to run and like catch him, and like they blast off into the sky and stuff. And then of course, what you're seeing here is when they come back down and they finally have that embrace where Guy is choking him. I think I would change it to where he's like choking her a little bit too. I think he was. I can't remember, but either or, I would have had it like Gaia was losing ground though a little bit with him, and Chloe jumps on his back. Like how I'm showing is like she's behind him, but imagine more like she's on his back, like legs on his shoulders, and she's quaking his head. But then he's using like the Captain Marvel power to kind of like repel it a little bit. But she's like, one, she's gotten way much stronger over the years since we've seen her, and it would be like she's trying to quake his head. He's also trying to like choke out Gaia and kill her. And then what you have happen is basically Gaia still blast him. In that moment, the shock from the blast would make him lose that consciousness and his power, and gives Quake the moment to like snap his neck, or maybe she quakes his brain. I don't know. Pick your poison. But I would have done it that way. Then their little dialogue ensues. What I put or what you want to put that they talked about. Basically, after that, they head to the compound. You see Gaia releasing, because she knows the scroll technology, releasing the hostages. You see Chloe and Gaia grab Rhodey. And then we culminate on showing you that all the agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. are there. So now, like, while everybody's coming out of the compound, getting medical attention, being looked after, you see Simmons, Gemma Simmons. You see Leopold Fitz, So Fitz and Simmons together again. They're there. They're helping. You see Yo-Yo go back. You see Yo-Yo in the compound with Bobby and Hunter. And they're not supposed to be in Russia probably. Maybe they're still, blacklisted or whatever, where they're still fugitives and they're not supposed to be in Russia, but they came for Fury's call because Fury called. So I always would say that they were hiding on Madripoor. If you ever look on my Instagram page, I have a whole thing of them being in Falcon and Winter Soldier. I have a whole artwork of that. So I would have done something like that, and then after you see the agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. help, give the reveal for Mac being in one of the containment units, bringing Rhodey back to America, and then you see the containment unit take off, and Rhodey is going up to the helicarrier, which Fury did mention a helicarrier in one of the earlier episodes. I think it was either episode 5 or 4. So him mentioning that and then showing that it's still around would be like, that was like a foreshadowing. After that, Rhodey goes back to America. You save one of the best scenes for last. This would be the last cameo. Of course, Fury going back to Saber. Everything plays out the same, I would say, for episode 6. With my Shield editions. But going back to Saber, it would have been like, we're going back to Saber, and him and his wife are talking. But then when the ship comes down, I guess it's a transport ship or something to take you to the bigger base, because I don't think that that wasn't the Saber ship. I would have done it that, like, as you can see, somebody coming down in the pod, and the wife is like, "Who's that?" Or that can't, because she can see baby better than what we could see, at home. And she's like, "Is that who I think it is?" To hype up the audience. And we probably may by that time know because we've seen everybody else from the Shield family, but we haven't seen that one person that we've been looking for outside of Daisy and of course the other characters. But like Daisy's a real fan favorite, and so is this person. Then when they step off the ship, I'd have him do the same kind of silhouette that Fury did when he came off the ship. You didn't really see him; he almost looked alien like. And then it comes into focus, and it'd be Coulson, Phil Coulson, LMD Phil Coulson, coming off the ship, get ready to get Fury back up to Saber because they have work to do. And he says hi and to Mrs. Fury, and he knows that she's a Skrull with all his memories of having all of Phil Coulson's memories and everything. He would know that she's a Skrull already because he was a part of the whole Captain Marvel thing. I would have done that. I would have done that, and I feel that would have brought it full circle, and then just show them in the end going back up with Coulson, you know, and then I would have probably did more of a post credit scene with Chloe Bennett, maybe getting recruited if they not recruited, I should say, being offered a more full time position at Sword and on Saber than working just for the Agents of Shield organization on the ground, and that would also bring her more fold into the MCU because I would pair her with Samuel L. Jackson as basically being the new Maria Hill if we go with keeping Maria Hill dead, if unless there was some kind of misdirect with that in Secret Invasion. But if she is dead, then I would have brought Chloe back in to head up being his right hand because Gaia's over there being Sonya's right hand. I don't know if she's still gonna become like a version of Abigail Brand or something like that with those type of powers that she has now because she's technically probably like one of the strongest characters or the strongest character in the Marvel universe right now. But I really do feel that we would have benefited from the Agents of Shield being in this, and I think everything I said. I mean, if you agree, you agree. If you don't, you don't. But I feel that would have been more exciting than what we got. And I think that's why it was a lackluster series because what you thought was going to happen didn't happen. But it's not even that it didn't happen. Those are kind of things that needed to happen. We needed that kind of shock value from Secret Invasion. Like I'm telling you, like just imagine, outside of my edit, for real, Ming Wayne, Melinda May being on the other side of that door, and then her being silent. She wouldn't even have said the dialogue that Sonya said. It would have been more Nick Fury talking. Like, you didn't expect that, did you? You know what I'm saying? And maybe Rhodey knows who Melinda May is, but, like, she's quiet, she's silent, she's deadly, and she got that gun aimed at him, and he knows she could kill him and expose him as a Skrull at any moment. That would have been dope. And, of course, I added my line, like, if Skrull Rhodey would have been talking to Nick Fury, saying, "Oh, I see you brought the cavalry," and he's like, I couldn't, come bring my sword to the fight without bringing my shield, something of that effect, and that would have been dope. You know what I'm saying? Because then he would have been basically giving that nod to Shield, a play on words and everything. But yeah, I really do think that the Agents of Shield should have been in Secret Invasion. That would have been the best time to reintroduce them, and then maybe you could have sprinkled them as the spy organization throughout the Agents of Shield. Not throughout the MCU. After Secret Invasion, you could have sprinkled the Agents of Shield through the MCU. Have them just show up in places on weird missions and stuff. You know, Everything would make sense eventually, but we just be seeing things happen that's kind of weird. And if you miss it, you miss it. But I would say, yeah, they dropped the ball. They dropped the ball with that. But I'm gonna go on and get up out of here. My next video probably will be talking about the Sonyverse, and I will probably put the link to that at the end of this video once that's done. But I do thank you for listening. Let me know if you agree. Do you think that the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. should have been reintroduced in Secret Invasion? And when I say reintroduced, I just mean canonizing the events of what they went through, because I feel like you can canonize it. You could say, like, I know around like season 5 through 7 with that whole fear dimension and everything, you retcon a little bit enough, and they were in an alternate reality that whole time. Like they were in our reality, and then after that whole future nonsense and everything, like you could just say like they never fully came back to our timeline, and then eventually Fitz and Simmons figured that out. So they could have skipped two timelines. They like that future thing could have brought them back, but they weren't really in our present for whatever they went through in season 5. Or the graviton stuff did happen. You could canonize that, and then one day Nick Fury mentions that like, yo, I like the work you did in Chicago, to Chloe Bennett's character. But then after that, the fear dimension did do something and create when they blew it up or whatever, it did dispel some type of energy that transported them somehow to another universe, and then eventually Fitz figured it out, him and Gemma, and then they were able to use the quantum realm to get back. I have an idea for that. I don't want to stay too long, but I have an idea that maybe with Fitz and them knowing the timeline and being able how they were living outside of time, maybe you do a cameo scene, maybe a Black Widow Agents of Shield, and you have a scene in there where her and Fitz meet, and this is a little more far fetched, but her and Fitz meet, and maybe this is after, or maybe not after, but like right before the time heist. So he finds out about the quantum realm, and that could be like the reason he found out about the quantum realm and using the energy and stuff, and being able to navigate the Shield team back to the current timeline. Like there could be some kind of Easter egg in that. But yeah, overall, just let me know what you guys thought of Secret Invasion. Did you like it as a show just by itself? Do you agree with me? Do you think that the Agents of Shield should have shown up in this way that I'm portraying to you in this video? Or did you just not like the series at all? Let me know what you didn't like. Let me know what you did like. Please, like and subscribe, so you won't miss a video when I do post it. And also, we're trying to get those files up. Once I see that like 100K, maybe around there, we could start doing some giveaways. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts on the video, on this idea. Why weren't the Agents of Shield in Secret Invasion? All right, this is LY Justice League. Y'all have a great day, and I'll see you soon.